There's a new chart that indicates that Bitcoin has a great risk to reward ratio right now, one that I've never looked at before, but is super interesting and one that you'll probably want to pay attention to for the next cycle. We also have news of GBTC discount being gobbled up. It's at the lowest amount that we've seen in a very long time. Country is calling a cryptocurrency that's been in the news recently a lot, one of the more hyped up cryptocurrencies recently. They're calling the company behind it a gang of criminals who are coming to harvest data, and Ripple just bought a company for around $250 million. I want to talk about all that. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn that bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. And in case you want to start trading cryptocurrency or buying on a new exchange, there's a link to BitGet underneath the video. There's also a link down there to my Patreon. I just did a 20-minute exclusive video answering a bunch of questions. So if you want to check that out, there's a link underneath the video as well. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust discount versus Bitcoin is the lowest level since January 2022. So over a year and a half, when BTC price was 50,000. The gap is closing faster as BlackRock filed for an ETF. Now that the new FASB or FASB accounting rules make it easier for corporations and institutions to hold Bitcoin, the trend is likely to continue. And actually, you can see it's up at 17%. Again, this is a huge move. Since just a few months ago, we were at 43%, 44%. This is back in June when it pretty much double bottomed. I mean, December, it was at 50% discount. So if you bought here, and then we get back to zero, you basically doubled the performance of Bitcoin. So this is quite impressive. And it shows that someone is buying up Bitcoin like crazy right now. Now, there's probably a good reason for that. A lot of people are bullish on Bitcoin. This is a new Bitcoin chart that I've never shown. This is the relative distance between Bitcoin's price, the historical price floor, and fair value, the Bitcoin energy value. We'll walk through this. He says that there's a 5-to-1 risk reward assuming no hype and that price would stop at fair value, which it never has. This is coming from Charles Edwards, who has been writing about this indicator actually for years. He has around 100,000 followers. And I watched a video talking about the Bitcoin energy value oscillator, which is very similar to this. It has the same Bitcoin energy value in this video, and this is back from 3 years ago, from January 1, and Charles Edwards was talking about this. The same person was talking about it 4 years ago. So let's take a look. Bitcoin's price right now obviously hasn't been moving too much. It's around 25,500, 26,000, right in that range. Bitcoin's energy value is what we're looking at here, and this is a way to analyze Bitcoin and show what the energy is worth. They have the energy input, so the amount of energy going into mining. This is hash rate times mining energy efficiency divided by supply growth rate, so the amount of Bitcoin hitting the market, and then multiply that by the fiat factor, basically a conversion factor to allow for fiat USD value of energy. So this is a way to value Bitcoin. It values Bitcoin around $45,000. And then the cost, just the Bitcoin electrical cost, which they're using as a price floor, it's pretty much served as a price floor in the past. If you look over the last few years, right, it's always been below, right? And it makes sense, right? If it costs more to mine a Bitcoin, then people will go offline, and then the amount, the electrical cost will go down. So it's pretty much always going to be underneath the value of Bitcoin, because again, miners will just drop off. They won't mine if they're losing money on it, and then they'll lower the electrical cost. So that value is around 21,600. So what this person's saying is, if we fall down, right, we could go down from 25,700 down to the Bitcoin electrical cost of 21,600. But if we just move up to the fair value of the electricity, then we would go up to 45,000, basically showing a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is better than we've seen in a while. you can see here it was better to be buying, which honestly makes sense. Bitcoin moved up very quickly after it was down at 15,500 for a couple weeks, and then it did make a big move up. So that's just one new way of valuing it. Now keep in mind that if Bitcoin did move down, this could also fall down, right? The electrical cost could fall down, which would probably indicate that it's a good time to be buying. If we're getting close to that band, well, it's a good time to be buying, because typically it doesn't happen too long where we're close to that band and then the price continues to fall down. Now, that did happen back here, July of last year. We got close to the band. You might be thinking, oh, this is a good time to be buying. And we didn't move up, but then we moved down. So again, just one more indicator to add, or one more chart to look at to your belt of different resources. Now, I do want to talk about a riskier cryptocurrency, one that I got some tokens in recently. I want to be clear, this is very risky. This is a super small one, but I did want to talk about it just because it has something interesting in it. It has an interesting mechanic. Now, that being said, if you want to move on further in the video, I totally get it if you don't want to hear about this risky market cap. But Blackbeard, who has 120,000 followers, brought it up on Twitter. He aped into the relaunch of VEG at 140,000 market cap. So this is a $100,000 market cap token. The idea and tech behind it seem pretty cool. You have farmers and turkeys. Farmers can be minted in the native token and don't need to be staked to start generating rewards. Their fee is burnt by the contract automatically. There are 4,444 farmers in total, and the price increases by 0.1 per mint, 0.1%. They'll also be able to mint a turkey NFT with your veg. Turkeys passively attack other farmers' harvest when they claim. So if you try to go claim your harvest, or like your staking rewards essentially, they can be stolen by a different turkey, and you pay for these turkeys in the token. So this token has fallen down since Blackbeard got into it. It's fallen down about 50%, so it's super risky, super risky. I will say there's a good amount of liquidity for how big the market cap is, but the market cap is still $92,000, so super risky. I'm not telling you to go buy this, but these are kind of the interesting cryptos that you might be able to get into to get some alpha in the bear market. Right now, you can buy this on Uniswap. Now, to be clear, if this moves up a lot, I'm going to be selling. So this is just an explanation for different cryptocurrencies that you could buy. They have some kind of new mechanic. If you buy this, I am telling you right now, I will be selling it if it goes up significantly. But I do think this is kind of an interesting level because it is pretty far down. It's a small market cap, so it could pump pretty quickly. Keep in mind that this is like a very small percentage of my portfolio. Like, I have 80+% in Bitcoin, and then I have a lot in big caps, and then I play around with maybe 1% or less. So keep that in mind. But let's move on. Kenyan officials call WorldCoin a gang of criminals who are harvesting data. Kenyan authorities continue to scrutinize controversial project WorldCoin by grilling CEO Alex Blania on Wednesday. This is an ad hoc meeting. Lawmakers voiced privacy concerns around WorldCoin. One lawmaker said that the project's arrival to Kenya looks like a gang of criminals who are coming to harvest data from young people. Now, WorldCoin, on the other hand, said that WorldCoin is designed to be privacy preserving as an inherent design of the protocol. Now, I would not trust this. I mean, anytime that you're giving your biological data, you are giving up information on yourself physically. Now, does that really matter? It's up to you to determine. I think this is some kind of a way of the future. Like Amazon already has palm readers where you can use that for payment. So I think this is the way that the world's going. But do you want to give this information out to save or to get a few extra tokens? I've also looked at this token, WorldCoin, and they're diluting like crazy. I think they have like 1% of the circulating supply of the supply already circulating. So I don't trust this. I wouldn't give them my data for a few dollars, but maybe you do want to do that. Now, apparently a lot of people are signing up in Argentina. They say that they broke records. They had 9,500 people sign up in a single day. Who knows if that's the case or if those are some faulty numbers. We'll have to see how this continues to unfold, but I'm not huge on WorldCoin. Ripple acquires crypto-focused chartered trust company Fortress Trust. A person with knowledge of the matter says that the price tag was around $250 million. Now, Fortress Trust provides financial and regulatory structure for blockchain companies, and it was formed by a former CEO of Prime Trust. Now, I think that this probably is going to do really well for them in the next cycle. There are going to be a lot of companies that want to make sure that they have the financial and regulatory structure correct. And if, let's say, some meme coin pops up to $100 million, $200 million in market cap, I think a lot of them would be willing to pay $500,000 or $1 million to get some information or to work with this company just to make sure that they're covered on the legal front. The Ripple president said that this acquisition was to bolster the firm's aim at becoming a one-stop shop for enterprises looking to convert, store, and move value on blockchain. So I don't know what Ripple's books look like. I don't know how many of these different acquisitions they can have, but they've been buying up a lot of companies and making some pretty big moves recently. And I do think that this helps them overall. The question is just whether it's worth it. I think, though, they know what they're doing. They seem like they've got a pretty good corporate structure, or they've been pretty successful as a corporation. They're making money somehow. And I think that this continues to help them get stronger and stronger as a cryptocurrency too, XRP, and as a company, Ripple. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hit subscribe if you don't mind.